Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Call Hala Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rikah Kodash. This is a Kapaya Yash with a morning lesson, and this is a testimony. Let me start off with saying this here. I was listening to a brother, elder, Salakia, Macamum, and this is his channel for some people that are new, that is interested in listening and learning. Macamum, he is a preacher, teacher, educator, historian. He's a martial art trainer. I mean, he's a jack of all trades, and ain't no telling what else. And he got supernatural strength, for he still love women, but he don't, indulge, with women for what I heard of him. That he's cool with that. So most definitely, you got to have supernatural, spiritual powers, But I get it. I understand, But yeah, let me get back on point. He had a visitor, and I hate saying a visitor, but they had company, good company, and which was Elder Ricard. From Dallas. He was formerly of Elder Tahar camp with Gabar. He left there and went to Dallas, so he came to visit. And I was just listening to the end part of the video. I saw the whole thing, but I had to shut it off and go to work, and I finish the tail end of it, from where I left off. And he said something that every brother need to start doing. If you're doing it, keep it up. And me myself, waking up in the morning, I have, and a lot of times I forget what the deal is. And here's what I'm saying. When you got to get up in the morning, the Lord wake you up, and if you have to go to the restroom, you don't want to lay there and wet the bed, But the first thing you striving to do is to water Yahweh for waking me up, and to water Yahweh, for keeping me alive to see another day. The first word, like he said, that come out your mouth supposed to be, thank you, the water, Yahweh, So I said to myself, man, that hit the spirit. I need to start back, doing that, because a lot of times, like I said, I wake up, go to the restroom, whatever, and then, I think of a lesson, to say before I leave the house. But something as simple as the water Yahweh B'Shem Shai does a whole lot. That's covering, protection. You give him all honor and, and glory, because your love is focused on him. Right after your sleep, when you wake up and when you open your eyes or you don't open your eyes, you say it, So we need to start back doing it. So I'm going to go into the video where he said, what he stated this, and then I'm going to give my testimony.
So let us put up the works of darkness, right? So, meaning that the night, what happens in the night? You sleep, right? So when the sun comes up, when the sun rises, you wake up in the morning in your bed or wherever you are, the first thing you're supposed to do is to water your heart by Yahweh Shai for allowing me to wake up and see another day. Right? That's something I know I always do. To water your heart by Yahweh Shai. Like, I'll wake up, I don't know if I'm going to wake up in the morning, man. Either which way, it's going to be okay. Because if you wake up...
So either way, it is going to be okay. You know, if you wake up, you know that we still in hell, just like what he said. You know, I just, paused it. But we still gonna be in hell, but it's just one day closer, you know, to be beamed up in those chairs of salvation. You know, we want to see all that. Yahweh Ratazah, we hope and pray, that we live through it, but some of us is going to die on this end. The Heavenly Father even said that. Said, don't worry about what you're going to go through. Just stay, focused. Stay focused in His truth, and don't let no man take your crown. Just stay focused. And you got to look at it like this here. It's a judgment, or that's the way He wanted it. But if you do, leave out, then hey, it's over. He wanted you home. He preserved you, from as I said in Daniel 12 and 2. It's gonna be, just paraphrasing. He's gonna save you from that terrible time that man have never experienced or seen since the beginning of time. That's a scary thing, and it's still, can rattle your bone, just thinking about that. Look at Habakkuk. He stated in his testimony that he hoped that he would be dead during that time. But the curiosity, well, I won't say curiosity, but knowing the fact that the men of Yahweh Bashim Shai are going to be rejoicing and praising the Lord and happy that they made it through it, like running 144,000 marathon, and you made it across the line, and you had to finish it, within a day. That's fast, But let me go straight into my testimony. I was knocked out in bed, and normally I would hear my wife go and get herself, straightened out before, not straightened out, let me say. She would go, take care of business before she go to work. And normally, before the Ring camera, I go downstairs and walk her to the car and stuff like that. Look out the window first, and then go outside, walk her to the car, make sure that she get in her car and go. And now that we got this, got the Ring camera, and I look at the Ring camera, and and she normally now park the vehicle inside the garage, and cause me, that's better that way instead of you going outside and then getting in the car. No, just get your stuff, put it in the car inside the garage, and then when you lift the garage door and somebody's standing there, either you hit the button, bring the garage down, or if he coming in, then put it in drive and do what you got to do. And I told her that, hit him, whoever just coming for you, don't. Well, anyway, so now I'm looking out the ringtone, but this morning I didn't, because the Lord put a spirit of sleepiness on me, heavy sleep on me. So I'm leaning on my lying, so I cannot lean it, lying on my left side, sleep, knocked out, and I felt, like someone, touched my arm, and deep in my sleep, I kind of figured that she was already gone. So I mean, it didn't startle me or anything like that, and I knew, and this happened before. I feel something touch me, wake me up out of sleep, and Heavenly Father put a lesson in my mind, just like I said in what Job, what is it, 33, if I'm not mistaken, where, we sleep and the Heavenly Father put his instruction in your mind. And so this is part of his instruction, going to tell this story about Peter, how the Heavenly Father, struck his arm to wake him up because Herod had plans to unalive him. And the thing that really kind of startled me was right after the Passover. And guess what? Today's the 27th, and April 1st is the Passover. So what I'm saying is, we need to give the Heavenly Father first all honor, glory, and praises before we do anything. That's pretty much what I'm saying. So I want to go and read this here. This is Acts. I'm just going to read all the way down. Let me see. I'll probably read all the way down to 9, maybe. Whatever the Lord, take me, because I'm going to have to walk this dog. I can hear him growling right now. It says here, Acts 12:1, that's when King Herod got it into his head to, I guess he had already unalived James in I think Acts 11. But let me just finish this out, Salaki, for ranting. That when King Herod got it into his head to go after some of the church members, he murdered James, John's brother. When he saw how much it raised his popularity rating with the Jews, you have some sick ass Jews, just like today, hating on the man of the Lord. He arrested Peter, all this during the Passover week, mind you, and had him thrown in jail, putting forth squads of 4 soldiers each to guard him. He was planning a public lynching after Passover. All the time that Peter was under heavy guard in the jailhouse, the church prayed for him most strenuously. So the brothers, of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, his disciples, and women when they are alone that believe in the truth, prayed and prayed and prayed, for his release. And tell you in Psalm, one of my favorite scriptures, Psalm 34, the Lord hear this man cry. The Lord hear this poor man cry and save him out of all his troubles, right? 6, then the time came for Herod to bring him out for the kill. That night, even though shackled to 2 soldiers and Salakia on one on each side, Peter slept like a baby. I mean, I was knocked out. I'm not comparing myself to Peter, but you get what I'm saying. And there were guards at the door keeping their eyes on the place. Herod was taking no chances. Suddenly, there was an angel at the side, and light flooded the room. The angel shook Peter and got him up. Harry, the handcuffs fell off his wrist, and the angel said, "Get dressed, put on your shoes." Peter did it. Then grab your coat and let's get out of here. Peter followed him, but didn't believe it was really an angel. He thought he was dreaming. Past the first guard, and then the second, they came to the iron gate that led into the city. It swung open before them on its own, and they were out on the street free as the breeze. At the first intersection, the angel left him going his own way. that's when Peter realized it wasn't a dream. So I'm gonna stop right there. The Heavenly Father, he can have an angel to, just like what this prime example right here, touched him, shook him, and woke him up out of his dream. And and this what I felt. Someone had touched me to wake me up, to, I guess, to test me to see if I was gonna call on the name of the Lord, and I did. And I, like I said, I felt in my soul, that's what I'm gonna start doing. That's what I'm gonna start doing. So when he put that deep sleep on me and touched my right arm, because I was lying on my left side, you know, and I just woke up and I didn't know, I didn't see nobody in the room. I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't startled. I knew my wife was gone, and I just said, "The water, how about you, Mount Shai, for waking me up?" And the Heavenly Father, he's, once you sincere about something, he will make it happen, and he made it happen. He made me say the water Yahweh for waking me up. The first word of speech was that. So I don't want to push this no longer, but this happened right. Well, I woke up at 3:02, so that's when it happened. But this was just testimony. That's all I got to say on that. So again, forgive me for ranting, and I'm gonna go ahead and end it. Shalom.